student that embodies the best qualities of the College of Science. It's a very difficult process. Each department nominates one of their students to be the outstanding senior, and we then form a committee which has a very difficult choice of choosing that person. This year, the Department of Chemistry's Emily Rick is our outstanding senior. Emily Rick received the 2009 Howard Hughes Medical Institute Science for Life Undergraduate PhD Award. This is work that she did during a study abroad semester in Paris. She's been working since then in the labs of Dr. Olin and Dr. Holt, doing something called dianyl ceramide isolated from caterpillars. So that's all I know. I would like to now invite Emily to say a few words to the graduates.
To the graduating class of 2009 and a half. First, it goes without saying that everyone here deserves to be congratulated. Either you're graduating today, or someone who is graduating liked you enough to invite you to the ceremony. Either way, kudos to you. Second, this is the College of Science commencement, so everyone who just walked across this stage is incredibly smart and dedicated. And we're going to collectively cure cancer, solve our energy crisis, invent the next best computer. It's going to be great. Seriously, you are all awesome. All right, now for the life lesson. Like many of my peers, I've had incredible opportunities to conduct research while at the U of A. And more so than anything else, it's these experiences that gave me some insight on the process of science. Namely, it's really hard, it rarely works, and it smells horrible, especially if you're a chemist. Of course, it's also totally worth it. So my only advice to you as you go out into the real world is to stay lighthearted and to try and see the humor in things. Otherwise, you might burn yourself out. Why is a hamburger lower in energy than steak? Because it's in the ground state. I think laughing things off is the best way to deal with the drama that life will inevitably throw at you. You can never predict what's going to happen, except that things will always change. Consider it an equilibrium process. What is a girl's future best friend? Graphite. Many of us, myself included, have a lot of uncertainty about the next stage in our life. And while that's kind of intimidating, it's also liberating. This is probably the best time you have to reflect on what it is you want to do with yourself and your shiny new degree from the U of A. Two atoms are walking down the street. One atom says, "I think I've lost an electron." The other asks, Are you sure? "Yes, I'm positive." Whatever it is you end up doing, you're going to epically fail at least once, so strap in. I know this is way easier said than done, but laughing at yourself when you fall makes it much less painful to get back up. Persistence is the key to success, especially in the sciences. Virus walks into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve viruses here." The virus says, "You do now." A room temperature semiconductor walks into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve semiconductors here." The room temperature semiconductor leaves without any resistance. Schrodinger's cat walks into a bar and doesn't. Sometimes you might not succeed, no matter how persistent you are. As you start this next phase in your life, you'll also need to know when to call it quits and start over. But remember, there's always a sweet side, even when things look really bad. A mole of moles is digging a mole of holes. What do you see? A mole of molasses. The fact that you're here suggests that you have what it takes to excel in whatever comes next, whether it's volunteering, starting a new job, or continuing your studies in professional or graduate school. And even if you don't pursue a career in the sciences, remember the principles you learned here, and consider it your responsibility to educate those who did not have this opportunity. What did the thermometer say to the graduated cylinder? You may have graduated, but I've got many degrees. Congratulations, everyone, and enjoy your graduation day. Cheers.
I have to admit that was excellent, and I apologize in the name of the College of Science for those of you in here that are not scientists. I want to thank all the volunteers from the College of Science who organize and run the ceremony. For the graduates, I congratulate you with all my heart. One of the things that has not been said, or maybe it has been said, but let me make it quite clear today, is that indeed you are a group, a very small group of individuals that is getting a degree in science. And you're very lucky that you are getting a degree, a graduate degree of any sort, especially in science. Why you're getting a degree compared to many in our world that aren't, well, who knows? I mean, it could be that your parents beat you up when you were a kid so that you had to excel, or your parents coddled you when you were a kid so you had to excel. You know, we'll leave that for the sociologists to decide exactly why it is that you are successful and that you've gotten to the point that you've gotten here today. But whatever it is clear that there was a set of circumstances that not everybody in the world is lucky enough to have. With those circumstances and with your degree, I would hope very sincerely that you just were not trained in science. That in itself is important. But that you are actually educated as a human being. And recognizing that many around you are not as lucky as you are, it is your responsibility that comes with this degree to make sure that you do something about that. You cannot stand idle as injustices occur. It is your responsibility to be vocal about whatever injustices you find. It is your responsibility as educated scientists to make sure that when there's a political debate about science, that people do not say, I believe that this is the right answer. It's not a matter of belief, it's a matter of science. You must educate folks about the important consequences of the scientific issues that are being addressed, and that politicians and public are asked to vote on, whether the water is going to be from the groundwater or from some channel, whether we should be basically burning coal or not burning coal. There are a tremendous amount of scientific questions that you are the people that know how to even address those issues. So I urge you to take your responsibility seriously, to help those that were not as lucky as you are, to educate those that do not have your education. Those are things that come with your degree. Today, I became, for those that are interested in science history, I became the equivalent of a water pump in central London. I am basically a focus of disease. I shook everybody's hands. I suggest you all wash your hands before you actually eat the cookies that are outside. And with that, I would like to just ask one more thing. There are a bunch of people in this room that I think you wouldn't have a degree if it wasn't because of them. These could be your parents, your spouses, your significant others. And I would like to ask all of the graduates to stand up, turn around, and applaud to those that have supported you for all these years. do right now, that'll be about the last time you'll get recognition. From now on, you'll be lucky to be the official photographer or paid at dinners. Well, this concludes the ceremony, the fall commencement of 2009. I congratulate all of you graduates again, and go and do good work. Thank you very much.